I want to tell you a story about people. I want to tell you a story about how God has used the people of Congo to change my life, and how God has used me and the others who have gone with me to change the lives of the people in Congo. It's a story where hope overcomes fatalism. It's a story of a big God, a personal God, a powerful God who desires to provide for his people.
And I'm very grateful to God to be born in this place. I've had to travel, and other places of the world have their uniqueness and their beauty, but I think this place is beautiful. I was lucky to be born near a lake. I get to see the lake. I get to have very fresh air from the mountain. I think it's a country with a lot of potential.
The greatest resource that we have here is the soil that is fertilized, and we have 8 months of rain. So we have lands everywhere that are good for agriculture.
I think the people are nice people, they're happy, they're also smiling and warm and kind. I think it's a country with a lot of human potential.
The Congo, specifically Bukavu, is a study in contrast. It's a place of great beauty against an infrastructure that is probably best described by the word dilapidated. The electricity is on a few days a week for a few hours a day. One friend of mine there went for more than 9 months with no electricity.
As a Christian, I think we have been blessed by everything. We have natural resources, we have human resources, and everything that a country needs to get developed, we have it.
I remember on my second trip, someone asked me, Greg, why has God blessed America and not blessed Congo? I worked on that question for more than a year. On the third trip, one of the team members said to me, Greg, what's wrong with you? God has blessed Congo. Just look around. It's men that have screwed it up.
What we lack is training. What we lack is information.
One of the reasons I really enjoy going to Bukavu is that it helps me see things from a different perspective. Before I went to Congo, even though I was in business, I really didn't understand the importance of business to living well, to glorifying God, and to doing the things that God designed us to do. You see, businesses provide resources. They provide goods and services for a community. But in order for people to buy those goods and services, they need a job. Businesses provide jobs. But businesses provide more than jobs. They provide a place for people to work, to do the things that God designed them to do, and to have the thrill of creating, of doing exactly what God designed them to do. Those are all missing in Congo. There is more money in Bukavu than there are goods and services to buy. There are people who God designed to create who don't know they have the ability to create. There are people who would love to work, but there are no jobs for them to have.
The problem here is that most of people now want to be creative. And to be creative, they think that they have to start a church or an NGO. And you know that a church and an NGO are not a business because they aim a common interest and not a profit. And given they aim a common interest, they don't pay taxes to the government. And for a government to develop a country, it needs taxes.
One of the reasons it's important for Americans to go to Congo is so that the people of Congo can also see things from a different perspective. I didn't understand that they view that profits are evil and even business itself is evil. And so one of the things that we do when we go there is explain the importance of profits, the reasons for profits, the importance of business, the reasons for business, that business is part of God's plan to subdue the earth. Once we explain it using the Word of God, they get it. and their perspective is forever changed.
Me and my wife have a shop. We buy cassava flour from the villages, the farmers, and we resell it in the city of Bukavu. The vision behind the business is really just helping the farmers, incentivizing the farmers. So if they know they have somebody who's going to buy their product, then chances are long term they will start producing more. And as they produce more, well, they sell more. And as they sell more, because the market is there, well, it improves their livelihood and the way they live in those villages. Because one of the things we saw is that most of the food products are being imported. They're coming from Rwanda, from Burundi, and also all sorts of other places. And at the same time, local products are not being produced because there's no incentive.
What we just lack is the courage and the support to start growing food that will be able to feed Congo and neighboring countries. It is, a shame for us if Congo can import food. Congo should export food because we have got so many lands that can, feed all Africa.
I had one guy, John, who traveled 3 hours on my recent trip to visit me. He came with one purpose in mind. We had trained him on the previous 2 trips. He said, Greg, I just came here to tell you 2 things. You and your team helped me understand that I could own a business. I didn't just have to look for a job. I could start and own a business. And so I did. I invested $3,000 in 2 motorcycles, and I rent them out to people who drive those motorcycles and use them as taxis each day for $10 a day. And in 18 months, I'll have $10,000.
In school, they don't talk much or they don't emphasize creativity. And most of people just think that, what I have to do is to study so that I may go and look for a job. But they don't see themselves as able to create jobs or to give a job to themselves.
The second thing that John told me, he said, Greg, you and your team helped me understand that a Christian could own a business. Before, I didn't think you could be a good Christian and own a business. Before I went to Congo, I never gave much thought to the word hope, or the concept of hope, or the necessity of having hope to live well. In America, hope might be described as the American dream. If someone gets educated and works hard, that he can succeed. In a spiritual sense, when we think of heaven, we have great hope. We think of a time when there will be no more tears, no more pain. That gives us great hope that things will be different. And it's that message of hope that we want to bring to the people of Congo. We want them to know that God cares about them today and desires to provide for them today. And we want them to know, because of the work that Jesus Christ did on the cross, that He has already provided for them in heaven. I don't think you can start a business without hope. So we go to Congo to tell people that God has designed them to create. That God has designed some of them to create businesses. And if they work hard and we work together with them, that they can create businesses that are capable of employing other people.
What I think first is that Greg is trying to change the view we Congolese people used to have of Western people, because there is something like imperialism. So they have to bring things and we have to take things. So they are donors, we are beneficiaries. But when Greg came, his main purpose was to try to change that and allow us to start depending on ourselves. So I think he brought a gift other people haven't brought yet, and that gift is just knowledge or training.
Well, we are all gifted in many ways, and so people must not feel like they can't help. I think initially, and I like to say this, we Christian need to pray and ask God for wisdom, ask God to show you and create those opportunities. For those who are business minded, of course, they can come and help Greg in terms of teaching. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have 2 or 3 teams per year.
There are many reasons to go on a trip with me to Bukavu in the Congo. Some people go because they've had great experiences and they want to share their knowledge and their experience with the people of Congo so that they can live well. Some people go out of a sense of adventure because they've never been there before. It sounds interesting. Some people go because they feel stuck. It's kind of like they are living life in black and white and they're ready to live life in color. And they need an experience like this to jar them out of this black and white world and into a world of living color. And that's what Congo does. I want to add a word of caution. I have many, many people tell me, I can't go. I say, well, why not? I don't know enough to help them. And I say, you know, you've had experiences just by living in the United States that you can share with them. You have knowledge that you've acquired just by sitting in church that they need to know. And besides all that, you will give them great hope by just showing up. And God will use you in ways that you will never imagine in the lives of the people there. Moreover, He will use the people there to change your life